Over to you.
Yasmin, thank you. Well, when he took office, he proposed a new day for Hawaii. Now, 8 months after his inauguration, he faces a showdown with the state's teachers, mounting issues with the homeless population, and concerns over aging infrastructure as a summit of the world's leaders gets underway. So how does Governor Neil Abercrombie plan to tackle these challenges, all while balancing the budget? Well, here to answer these questions is Governor Neil Abercrombie himself. And thank you so much for joining us this morning.
A great pleasure for me.
So you talked about your new day in a
Yes.
speech yesterday, and one of the things that you did not mention was the teacher negotiations. It's ongoing, very heated, and the teachers union, HSTA, is accusing you of several things, one of them including calling off negotiations without reason, also imposing a contract that's unfair, and most recently, which will be happening today, the labor board saying that you tried to exert undue influence for your personal gain. So what's your response to that?
Well, I wanted to go to mediation. I thought that was what was requested. We have a contract underway. It was agreed to. I'm sorry that the board of the HSTA didn't give the teachers themselves an opportunity to take a look at it and to see whether or not we were backing them up, as well as the students and the parents across the state. We're moving forward. We have our race to the top to get to. The children are being taught. No instructional days have been taken away. The furloughs are over. So I'm quite confident that we can come to a conclusion.
How soon do you think it could be?
Well, I don't see any reason why it can't be done today.
During your speech yesterday, you mentioned the canoe reference. This is
Yes.
a reference that you've made several times, and you've said that the canoe has been righted in terms of the fiscal budget, but that there are several storms that could
Yes.
huli that canoe, including federal dollars. You know that there's going to be less money coming into your budget from the federal government. What are you doing to keep that canoe going straight?
Well, Lieutenant Governor Schatz has our Fair Share initiative going. We're actually reaching out for dollars that we didn't get before. There are lots of programs that have been underfunded on the federal side simply because we didn't go after it. The public employees we do have right now who have been working very, very hard have had not necessarily had follow through on the initiatives that they put forward before. So we missed out on dollars that were there that are not going to get cut. And with increasing expenses that are out there in healthcare, the costs are rising. It's not so much the spending as it is the costs are rising. People are living longer, and more of them are living longer. So expenses with Medicare, for example, are rising. So what we're doing is maximizing our capacity to be eligible for those dollars. So I think also with defense spending, there's a recognition that Hawaii is still the center of America's strategic interests in Asia and the Pacific. A congressional delegation is coming through at the end of the month that I'm meeting with. I retain all my relationships in Congress. I've always had good bipartisan relations in Congress. So I think that to the degree or extent that the federal dollar may shrink, you can rest assured that Hawaii will get its share of what is available.
You're talking about Meeting of the Minds. You know, the big APEC conference is
Yes.
coming up in November, and it's going to be several world leaders. Just from the perspective of the everyday person, they're thinking, oh my gosh, there's going to be Carmageddon. With all of these world leaders, they can't go to the convention center for some of the big meetings, and they're going to have to travel to Ihilani, Ko'olina area.
Yeah.
And just recently, you had some city council members say, what about those water main breaks that happened every day? And it seems like almost a daunting task
Yes.
to shuttle these people back and
Right.
forth. And how do you keep things going
Well,
as you prepare
I'm prepared
for
to completely blame the mayor and the city council. It has nothing to do with the state.
Right.
No, we're cooperating together
I mean,
at the
everyone's
national
working
government.
together,
Yeah, of course
though.
they are. We've got a terrific committee from the private sector and nonprofit groups working together, volunteers. I think everything will work pretty smoothly. It's for a few days. It puts Hawaii at the center of the world map. It gives us an opportunity to do a couple of things on a serious note. Instead of just being a crossroads, crossroads you go through, you don't pay any attention to. No, we want to be the destination for people. We want to get people to see Hawaii as a real destination, as a place to go to. Not so much the westernmost outpost of the United States as the easternmost outpost of Asia Pacific, where people see us that way. Whether it's China, whether it's India, whether from the point of view of travel and tourism or business opportunity, China has moved forward on green technology, for example. Well, maybe they'll see Hawaii as a possible partner in that. So those are the opportunities that we have. And the momentary situation we may face on logistics of travel and so on, we'll get through that, I think, in good order.
One of the image issues that Hawaii has to deal with is the homeless, and you've got your homeless czar working on that 90-day plan, which is already passed now.
Yes.
And the long-term solution is to get these people into some sort of housing. Where do you think you are in terms of trying to reach that goal?
We're moving step by step. I don't know if Mark Alexander would characterize himself as a czar. He hasn't moved into that category yet. Actually, it's quite the opposite. He is a real master of cooperation. We have more groups and individuals working together in a coordinated way than ever before. And what we're doing is we're moving people from homelessness, from being on the street, into shelters. There's been a resistance to that before. That's changing. Groups are zeroing in on the shelters now as the nexus, as the locus of their efforts dealing with the homeless population, including those that are mentally disturbed. So once we get that underway, we move to the next step, which is finding a home, as you indicated, a place beyond shelter into an actual home, and giving people the opportunity to identify themselves as not hopeless, but actually hopeful, and that they see themselves as having a home, having a job, moving forward with their lives. So we're taking step by step to get that done. There's a lot of apartments, for example, out there that need rehabilitation. Our new direction that we're going in with public housing is going to see that that happens. We are going to make sure that not only those who are presently homeless and looking for a way out, but the taxpayers that are helping to fund the situation recognize that we're making genuine progress that's taking people off the streets and moving their lives forward.
Well, Governor Neil Abercrombie, it's a pleasure having you on our morning show today, and we hope to see you again in the future.
Thank you very, very much.
Thanks again for joining us.
Great pleasure.
And if you'd like to watch this interview again with the governor, you can go over to our morning section of our website, kitv.com. It is 5:50.